The following video is about a woman named Amelia who had recently moved into a new house with her children, hoping for a fresh start, a quieter environment, and a place where her family could settle comfortably. But after about a week of living there, Amelia says she began feeling something she couldn't easily explain, the unsettling sensation that someone else might also be living in the house with them. At first, the incidents were small enough that she tried to ignore them. Late at night, when all of her kids were already asleep, she would hear heavy footsteps upstairs, slow and deliberate, the kind of weight that clearly didn't belong to kids moving around in the middle of the night. On several occasions, she closed jars and drawers in the kitchen before going to bed, only to return the next morning and find them open again as if someone had quietly gone through them while the family slept. For a while, she convinced herself there had to be ordinary explanations. Maybe the house settling, maybe one of the kids waking up without remembering, maybe even loose hinges. But over time, the activity started happening more often, and what worried her most was that many of these strange moments seemed to be centered around her young son's bedroom. Eventually, Amelia decided she needed proof of what was happening when no one was around, so she installed a small camera in the room to monitor it during the night. Watch closely.
As you can see, that camera is in my little boy's room on his drawers. In the doorway, that's our hallway. And sorry, the door in the hallway where the light's flashing off, that's our bedroom door, and it seems to obviously be flashing from the opposite side, which is our bathroom. We don't live near a main road. That wasn't like car lights coming past. It picked up motion, so our camera records, the one that I've got at the minute. Joys of being a mum. Camera that we have at the minute, as I was saying, that picks up, it's constantly recording, but to watch back on something, when motion's detected, it will record like a certain clip, which is exactly what it's done there. So something has to be coming past that camera in order to start recording at that point. This was at 7:52 p.m. Me and Josh were downstairs, my child's dad, and the dogs. My son was asleep, very much asleep in bed. I got the notification on my phone to say that there was motion, so obviously I've gone to check, and obviously I've replayed that back, and that's exactly what I saw. There is no explanation for that light to be flashing. There was no explanation for that. Then around 10 p.m, I actually saw an orb fly from the bottom right of the screen going up, and it just disappeared about in the middle, but obviously that didn't pick up motion. So I'm now tonight going to sit and just screen record the camera that I'm watching, because obviously we need to get a new camera that's going to work better, so I can obviously watch everything back. But there is no explanation for that whatsoever.
She got a sudden motion alert even though no one had entered the room, and then something even stranger happens. A light begins flashing repeatedly without any clear reason. Viewers quickly began offering theories. Some suggested electrical interference, a wiring issue common in older homes that could cause lights to flicker or switch on and off unexpectedly. But others weren't so sure, especially after Amelia explained the strange footsteps, the cabinets opening, and the odd noises around the house long before the camera ever captured this moment. For Amelia and her children, the camera was meant to bring answers and peace of mind. Instead, it may have confirmed the one possibility she was hoping wasn't true, that whatever has been walking those halls at night might actually be sharing the house with them. Now, her question is, what can she do before things get out of hand? In this next clip, a mother has started to believe her young son may be seeing something that she simply cannot, and over time the situation has begun to worry her more than she expected. Watch closely.
Jag tror att min son, som är 2 år, har sett ett spöke. Ja, ni kan ju se för er själva. Vem är det som är där, Max? Alltså det är som att han busar med någon. Så jäkla weird. Plus att han sa ke. Och Timmy, min sambors lillebror, lever inte längre och han heter Kenny. Så jag vet inte om det är han som hälsade på. Det går inte att förklara i alla fall.
In the video, the little boy appears to be interacting with something that isn't visible to anyone else in the room. At times, he plays peekaboo with empty space, covering his face and then laughing as though someone is responding from the other side. Other mornings, he wakes up pointing toward corners of the room, smiling and babbling happily at something his mother cannot see standing there. At first, she assumed it was just normal childhood imagination, something many toddlers go through while their minds are developing. But as the days passed, she began noticing moments that were harder to brush off. There have been nights when he suddenly sits upright in his bed, staring toward the doorway as if someone just walked in. Other times, he waves at empty hallways or reaches his hands out as though someone is standing just beyond the camera, patiently waiting for him to notice them. People who watched the footage quickly began offering different explanations. Some say this is completely normal behavior for a child his age, and that he will likely outgrow it as he gets older and becomes more aware of the world around him. Others believe something very different, that young children are sometimes more sensitive to things adults can no longer perceive, and that in certain paranormal beliefs, children are thought to have a kind of openness that allows them to notice presences that remain hidden to everyone else. But what really unsettled some viewers is the idea that if the child truly is seeing something, the question isn't just what it is, it's whether that presence will always remain as friendly as it seems now. Because right now, whatever he's reacting to makes him smile, laugh, and reach out happily. So what do you think? Is this simply the imagination of a young child at play? Or could he really be interacting with something no one else in the room can see? You decide. Now in this next video, a woman went to visit her sisters, and before arriving, she had already heard a few unsettling stories about the house. But like many people do when they hear things like that, she assumed it was probably exaggeration or nerves playing tricks on them. Her sisters had told her about figures that occasionally appeared on their CCTV cameras, shapes that looked like someone slowly walking up the stairs even when no one was home. They had also mentioned their dogs barking relentlessly at the front door. Not just late at night, but sometimes in the middle of the afternoon. The kind of barking dogs usually reserved for a stranger standing right outside. What made it stranger was that this had gone on for nearly a week straight, as if something unseen kept approaching the house, lingering there for a moment, and then leaving again without ever appearing on camera. Still, she didn't take any of it seriously. That was until one evening when her sisters and their partners went out on a date, leaving her alone in the house to watch the dog. For a while, everything seemed completely normal, quiet, almost boring. Then suddenly, she screamed.
Oh my god. What? Stop! Relax!
There's a fucking kid upstairs, I'm not joking!
What do you mean?
I was down there with them, you can see that camera, there's like, I heard it twice.
Like what?
I kept laughing.
Okay, relax.
I literally looked back, I ignored it, then it happened again, and I got up and started freaking out. You can see that camera.
Okay, relax.
No,
I just left them here, at the store.
No, there's a kid upstairs laughing, that's why I asked to go out by it's there.
Oh my god, dude. Upstairs?
Yes, the sound is just like a kid, like a high-pitched voice. Twice. You literally see me look at the thing twice. And I thought it was TV, but it wasn't.
Why it's not here? Oh my, dude, I just rushed and left them there.
If you listen closely, you can hear something in the background that sounds unmistakably like laughter. It's faint, distant, but clear enough that the moment she heard it, every story her sisters had told her started rushing back into her mind. The figures walking the stairs, the dogs barking at nothing, the constant feeling that something might already be inside the house. And that's the strange thing about situations like this. Many skeptics don't dismiss the paranormal because they've carefully investigated every story and reached a conclusion. Most dismiss it simply because they've never experienced anything themselves. From a distance, it's easy to laugh it off, easy to say there must be a logical explanation when you're watching a video on a screen and sitting safely in your own home. But the moment something like this happens to you, the moment you hear a voice where no one should be, or laughter echoing through an empty house, the experience suddenly becomes a lot harder to ignore. Because once you have a moment like that, the idea that you might not be alone doesn't feel like a story anymore. It feels like a possibility. In the following clip, a man is simply tidying up his room. the kind of ordinary moment that doesn't seem like it could turn into anything unusual. After finishing up, he steps outside for a minute to take out the trash, expecting to come right back in and continue his night like normal. But just as he's about to walk back into the apartment, the light inside his room suddenly turns off. At first glance, that might not sound like much, except for one important detail. Every other apartment around him still has power, which immediately tells him this isn't some random outage affecting the building. Something else is going on, and unfortunately for him, strange things had already been happening in that apartment long before this night. He's previously claimed that he once saw what looked like a hand appear briefly in his bathroom mirror, something that vanished the moment he tried to focus on it. On another occasion, he says he somehow became locked inside that same bathroom for hours, unable to open the door no matter how hard he tried, until it suddenly swung open on its own as if nothing had been blocking it at all. Experiences like that had already left him uneasy about the place, so when the light went out this night, he immediately felt that familiar sense that something wasn't right. Watch.
Estaba ordenando acá la habitación y se apagó la luz de la nada. Salí a tirar la basura y se apagó la luz de la nada. Volviste, hijo de puta. Volviste. Hace mucho no me pasaba esto. Es rarísimo, pero hace mucho no me pasaba esto. No hay nadie acá. No hay nadie acá. No hay nadie acá. No hay nadie acá. ¿Dónde estás, Dios? Mostrate. 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 Móvete de nuevo.
According to him, things had actually been quiet in the apartment for a while before this moment, which is why the sudden return of activity made it even more unsettling. Some people have advised him not to react with fear, claiming that in paranormal cases, showing fear can sometimes encourage whatever might be causing the disturbances. But realistically, it's hard to imagine anyone staying calm in a situation like this, especially when you're the one living there. There's also another detail that some viewers keep bringing up, a doll that's been sitting in the apartment for quite some time. His girlfriend likes it and refuses to get rid of it, but others believe that if something truly strange is happening in that house, objects like that can sometimes act as a kind of anchor for whatever presence might be there. Whether that doll has anything to do with the disturbances or not is impossible to know, but until more updates come from him, the situation inside that apartment remains completely unexplained. Now, in this next video, a mother with a 2-year-old son named Chile says she's been witnessing something she can't quite explain. According to her, she has never taught her son anything about ghosts, and she's very careful about the kind of content he's exposed to. No horror movies, no spooky shows, nothing that could influence a child that young to imagine something like this. But for over a month now, he's been reacting to something in the house that no one else can see. Have a look.
He right there? Get him, Nico. Did she getting him? You don't want her to get him?
No.
Why you don't want her to get them? You want him to stay here with us?
Yeah. Right here?
Ghost.
Where is he?
You right here?
Right here.
Ooh. Is he a baby ghost? Is he little?
Ew. Stop.
You don't want us to kill him?
Okay, kill.
Kill him. I got him.
Okay, she got him then. I think he gone. I don't see him.
Go.
He gone?
A ghost and ghost.
Okay.
Ghost
But
and
I just wanna know
ghost.
how do you know about ghosts?
Yeah, who taught you about those?
A ghost and that.
How many of them is it?
A ghost that.
Shadow? This a shadow. That ain't no ghost.
Ghost.
But how do you even know what that is, Quashawn? When did you learn about those? Because mommy don't even watch scary movies.
Ghost and ghost.
And you be watching the vampire movies. You probably didn't let one of them in here from watching them. Huh?
Ghost. The ghost on that. The ghost.
Say bye-bye, ghost. Say see you later.
Share.
Say hi, ghost.
Hi, ghost.
Bye, ghost. Bye, ghost.
No ghost.
No, say bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Say outie.
Bye.
Say outie. Say outie. Say out.
No.
Say get out. Get out. Say get out. Get out.
Ghost on that. Ghost.
Yeah, say move.
No.
Say go home.
What makes this even more unsettling is that this isn't a one-time reaction. She says moments like this have been happening almost daily. Sometimes, Chili will suddenly stop playing and stare into an empty corner of the room, smiling and waving as if someone is standing there with him. Other times, he quietly talks to the air, forming little sentences the way toddlers do when they're responding to someone they believe is right in front of them. There have even been nights when he wakes up from sleep and points toward the doorway of his room, giggling and whispering like he's greeting someone who just walked in. At first, the mother tried to brush it off as imagination, the kind of playful behavior toddlers sometimes grow out of. But after weeks of the same pattern repeating, she started feeling uneasy about it. She says the energy in the house doesn't feel negative right now, and nothing violent or aggressive has happened. But what worries her is the uncertainty of it all. If her son really is seeing something that adults can't, then the question becomes, what exactly is sharing the house with them? So, what do you think? The following clip was recorded by a night watchman who decided to document what a typical shift at his workplace looks like once the store has completely closed for the night. According to him, by the time his patrol begins, the building is supposed to be completely empty. No staff, no customers, no one walking the aisles, just long, quiet hallways and rows of dark shelves. Curious about the strange things he had been hearing during his shifts, he eventually pulled out his phone and started recording. Have a look. Despite the building being completely empty, he constantly hears what sounds like children running through the aisles, distant laughter echoing down the corridors, and sometimes even the faint murmur of adults talking as if they're casually shopping. On some nights, he says it sounds so real that he instinctively turns corners expecting to see people standing there, only to find the store completely silent and deserted. The idea behind this phenomenon is that certain locations absorb intense or repeated human activity over long periods of time, almost like a recording etched into the environment itself. Instead of an intelligent spirit interacting with people, the place simply replays fragments of past moments, voices, footsteps, or movements that once happened there when the building was alive with activity. But some people believe there could be another explanation. If what he's hearing truly sounds like children playing and adults moving through the aisles, then some argue it might not be an echo of the past at all, but something unseen occupying the space after hours. Something that becomes active only when the building is empty and quiet. And the most unsettling part, according to the Watchman, is how routine it has become. these voices don't appear once in a while. They happen almost every night, as if when the lights go off and the doors close, the store quietly fills up again with people that no one can see. Whether this is simply sound carrying strangely through the empty building, or something far more unexplained, I'll let you be the judge on this one. Now, in this next clip, popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his investigation inside the infamous Blackford County Jail, a location widely regarded as one of the most feared and talked about haunted buildings in the state of Indiana. While Ian was inside the men's cell block, this happened.
Hello? What the f was that? Oh my god. Oh, I've had enough. I've had enough. Oh, that was in this cell. That was in here. What the heck was that? Whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What the? Look at, dude, holy shit. Something fucking just destroyed that cell. This entity.
After having a terrifying experience earlier in the men's cell block, most investigators would have taken that as a warning and left the building entirely, but Ian decided to stay and push further into the jail, a decision he would soon regret.
I'm sorry. Hope I didn't piss you off. Oh, just one look. Just one look. Holy shit. Holy shit. Dude, this whole cell is destroyed. Did I make you angry? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to piss you off.
According to Ian, the moment he crossed into the cell, he felt what he described as a powerful, unseen force shoved directly into his chest, strong enough to physically push him back. Given the violent history tied to old jails, some investigators believe the spirits of former inmates or guards can remain deeply attached to the locations where they spent their final days, especially if their deaths were sudden, tragic, or filled with anger. Others believe encounters like this may involve something far darker, not simply a lingering human spirit, but an entity that feeds on fear and confrontation, becoming more active the longer investigators remain inside places heavy with past suffering. Perhaps running from the unknown really is the smarter choice, because moments like this are a reminder that whatever these entities may be, we still don't fully understand what they're capable of. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. In the following clip, a family went to check out an apartment they were considering renting, but within minutes of stepping inside, something happened that none of them could explain. Watch this.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm scared of that. That's why I walked it.
Bubby, you stay with us.
I'm going down. Who's that?
Ooh, it's purple.
You want this room, Sally?
It's Harry Potter themed.
Aside the fact that an unidentified voice suddenly whispered Jadis, viewers quickly pointed out something else that seems far more disturbing. There's a particular corner of the house that gave almost everyone watching the same unsettling feeling. It's the kind of spot that looks normal at first, but the longer you stare at it, the heavier it feels. Some viewers claim they could see faint, human-shaped figures shifting in the shadows. Others said that even through a screen, the corner looked wrong, almost like someone, or something, was standing there quietly, waiting for them to step closer. And then there's the little boy. The moment he said he was scared, a lot of people took that seriously, not because he sounded dramatic or confused, but because children are known to be extremely sensitive to things adults can't perceive. So between the mysterious voice calling out a name, the strange corner that unsettled so many viewers, and the child's immediate reaction, many believe the family got all the signs they needed. Whether they listened or not, though, that's something everyone is still waiting to know. In this next clip, a family who had been dealing with several nights of unexplained knocking finally made the mistake that so many paranormal experts warn people about. They opened the door. They didn't see anyone there, no footsteps, no cars parked outside, but ever since that moment, their normal days have looked nothing like normal. Watch this. First, you see the chair rocking, as if something was sitting there and deliberately trying to be noticed. But the moment the man reached out to stop it, something else in the room reacted. Like whatever was inside that house was saying, if you stop me here, I'll just move somewhere else. And this is the exact pattern people online pointed out. Every time they try to interfere with one activity, another one starts up right behind them. It's like the presence in that house is trying to show dominance over the entire space. And judging by how effortlessly these objects move, and how quickly the activity escalates, whatever this is, it doesn't seem ready to leave anytime soon. On March 8th, 2023, Casey Lee was home with her family when her son suddenly ran out of the hallway, trying to get his dad's attention. He kept pointing, insisting that his father had to come see something. Watch.
This snack will go international. International. That looks good though, dude. We gotta try that. Alright, start this video. Break the ice. We're gonna break the rice. Slow down, some rice. Oh, no, that's sick. Oh, that's insane. Boy, that's amazing. Wow. Dude. Okay, let's go. That's amazing. That feels so trippy too. Oh, new crunches. Yeah, new oil. But I can't grab all these. I'm doing it. What? Oh, yeah. That's so satisfying. Yeah, that is. I like seeing a ghost. A ghost? That looks amazing. Where? That took. Fuck that shit. Kill him. Kill who? That ghost. What ghost? There. What's that? Go get him. No. What does the ghost look like? What's that? Like that? Where is he? In there. And where? In there. Here? Uh-huh. Further? Is he here? In front of me? Over there? Where? Which way? No, in there. In that room? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going in there. No, I don't know.
no ghost in there? Not anymore because the light's on? Someone's home in there? It's a ghost? Is it a nice ghost? Friendly ghost? Oh, do what? Am I fighting it? Fight it?
Come here. Go.
I think we're good. Is it a big ghost or a little ghost?
Big ghost.
A big ghost?
Yeah.
Is it a boy ghost or a girl ghost?
Big ghost.
Big ghost.
In there. We're almost there.
The boy was way too focused for them not to take him seriously, and according to Casey, this isn't the first time he's claimed to see something that no one else noticed at first. One example she gave was from a few months earlier, when he told her there was someone sitting by the shoe rack. They brushed it off as imagination, until the motion-activated light by the rack flicked on by itself, followed by the sound of something shifting across the tiles, exactly where he had pointed. After that moment, they learned to stop doubting him so quickly, which is why this latest incident is starting to bother them more than they expected. Casey says that the very next day after this clip was recorded, both of their dogs started barking ferociously at the same corner of the house, right at the end of the hallway where her son kept staring. Whatever her son saw, the animals definitely sensed it too, but until Casey shares more updates, this case remains completely unsolved. Now, in this next clip, TJ has recently adopted a deep fascination for haunted dolls, and over the past year, she's slowly built an entire collection, each doll with its own energy, history, and personality. Every now and then, she documents her new life living with these dolls, and although many people follow her page out of curiosity, most didn't expect her newest update to be this unsettling. Watch.
What's going on down there?
This clip quickly caught the attention of other collectors who started asking, how long did it take for her dolls to get comfortable enough to do this? They explained that many of their dolls stay completely silent for months, sometimes years, and that the quiet ones often make them the most nervous, because spirits that stay still for too long usually do so while observing the environment, adjusting, and waiting. To answer everyone's question, TJ gave a detailed response. Honestly, over a year. I had to really build a close relationship with them to get the activity I'm getting now. It was definitely not always this high. Things only started picking up when they felt like they knew me well. Her comment opened up another wave of debates. For now though, TJ insists she's comfortable with her dolls and isn't afraid, but viewers can't help but wonder if that's because she truly feels safe, or because whatever's attached to those dolls has already settled in more deeply than she realizes. In the following video, we have a man who claims he lives in a haunted house. And after months of documenting the activity, viewers finally traced the cause back to an African mask hanging in his home. But like most people who have already grown attached to something they own, he's been in complete denial. Friends have told him to get rid of it, viewers have begged him, but he always brushed it off, until things escalated way beyond the point of coincidence. Watch. First, it was a single loud bang. Then the wind chime swayed, and seconds later, the cupboard door slammed shut on its own. Everything seemed connected, almost as if something was moving through the house in a straight line, starting with the bang, triggering the chime, and ending with the kitchen cupboard. But what really convinced viewers that this has nothing to do with the house and everything to do with the mask was what happened next. Because the activity didn't stop at harmless noise, it grew aggressive. Watch this. The knife flew off and almost landed directly on his leg. And that wasn't the only incident. He's been waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. to scratching sounds on the walls, footsteps pacing around his bed, and sudden drops in temperature that make the room feel freezing cold. People in the comments use this as the final push to warn him again. It's the mask, take it down, remove it from your home before something even more dangerous happens. And after everything he's experienced, especially now that he's getting hurt, hopefully this time he finally believes them. Now, in this next clip, we're looking at one of the most unsettling situations a young family has ever had to deal with. For weeks, they've been reporting strange disturbances happening only at night. Small things at first. Toys turning themselves on, footsteps in the hallway when everyone was asleep, and the baby monitor picking up faint whispers that definitely weren't coming from the parents. But recently, something changed, and whatever's happening now seems to be focused on their daughter. Every night, right after they put her to bed, she does the strangest thing. Watch this. You can hear the little girl, who is supposed to be fast asleep by this time, suddenly laughing in this almost diabolical, unsettling tone. And the way she stares, her eyes reflecting the infrared light like she's locked onto something none of us can see. That alone had viewers saying this doesn't look like normal sleep behavior at all. Some parents in the comments said this reminded them of episodes their kids had during extreme night terrors, but others are convinced this goes way beyond that. Now the parents are completely torn. They're not sure if they should call a priest, bring in a paranormal team, or just pack up and leave the house entirely. But with how quickly these episodes are escalating, doing nothing doesn't seem like an option anymore. What do you think they should do? Because whatever this is, it definitely isn't normal. Now, in this next clip, a man falls asleep with his bedroom light completely turned off, only to open his eyes around 1 a.m. and see that it's suddenly on. Watch.
Es la 1 de la mañana, acaban de prender la luz de la sala. Desde que compré ese espejo están pasando todas las cosas raras. A la madre. ¿Qué fue eso?
According to him, ever since he brought this toy home, this exact one right here, things inside his apartment have not been the same. At first, it was small things, a faint tapping in the hallway, soft creaks from the living room floorboards even though no one was out there. But with every passing night, the activity grew darker. He says he now wakes up almost every night to strange noises that seem to move from one room to another, like footsteps pacing in slow circles. And twice, something tried to forcefully twist his doorknob while he was sleeping. Not gently, not like a draft, but with the kind of pressure you'd expect from someone trying to get in. Even his cat, usually calm and curious, refuses to go near the toy. Instead, it'll sit in the doorway with its ears pinned back, staring into the darkness as if watching something move that he cannot see. And on the nights when the activity is strongest, the cat becomes restless, pacing from wall to wall, growling low under its breath. People in the comments were quick to say the same thing, be careful what you bring into your home. Sometimes it's not the object itself, but whatever might already be attached to it. And in his case, it's starting to look like he didn't bring home a toy at all. He brought home something that doesn't want to leave. In the following video, a student from the Philippines found herself trapped inside a classroom in the university's ophthalmology building, one of the oldest sections of the entire school and a place many students already claim has a strange atmosphere. According to her, she had stayed behind after hours to finish an assignment when she suddenly realized she couldn't get out. Watch.
Hindi ko alam kung magsisend to, pero kanina pa ako nandito. Walang pintong bumubukas at may topak ata tong phone ko. Pag tinatry ko siyang buksan, yung mga pinto, hindi naman siya nakalock, pero ayaw niyang bumukas. Eto, tignan niyo. Parang may humihila sa kabilang dulo. Please, kung makita niyo to, ako si Maxine Kayapado ng MMA 201. Nandito ako sa C401 at nasa tapat ako ng...
She explained that the doors were not locked. They simply wouldn't open, as if something on the other side was gripping the handle and refusing to let go. The more she pulled, the heavier it felt, almost like she was fighting with an invisible force. And right when she started recording a video to show exactly where she was, hoping someone would come help her, that's when the door suddenly swung open on its own. To this day, no one can say for sure what actually happened in that room, and this video remains a mystery. The following clip was recorded inside Kyle's house, a place we featured several times on this channel. For the past few weeks, things have been unusually quiet, but as many people familiar with paranormal cases will tell you, long quiet periods don't always mean the activity is gone. Sometimes they mean something is building up. One morning, Kyle woke up to the sound of voices coming from somewhere inside his house. Watch closely. At first, he did what most people would do. He searched the house room by room, trying to find a logical source. No TV was on, no phone, no neighbors, nothing that could explain what he was hearing. But when he reached the basement door, things became even more unsettling. Viewers who analyzed the clip claim they heard a young girl's voice whispering, "He's coming." But Kyle doesn't have any children and no kids were anywhere near the house at the time. Several people urged Kyle not to respond verbally, especially not in the moment, a common warning when unexplained voices are heard, as acknowledging them is believed by some to strengthen the activity. For now, Kyle hasn't been able to explain what he heard that morning, just a voice that shouldn't have been there, and a house that, after weeks of silence, suddenly felt very. In this next video, a security guard shares more updates from his workplace, a place where strange figures have been showing up far too often to ignore. In earlier clips, he documented unexplained figures passing, and he thought it was going to be a one-off activity, but it happened again. One night during his shift, he noticed a white figure moving through the building once again. Instead of brushing it off, he decided to stand up and follow it, hoping to finally get a clearer look. Watch closely.
The storm is so bad that Ghost had to go upstairs. Look at the bottom right. Look. There you go. Look at that. It was cold. I'm like, oh shit. I wanted to follow it and feel. See, I'm trying to feel, like, follow the cold breeze. I saw it going towards the elevator. So I went there. It was actually a cold breeze towards the elevator, then it just stopped. So I'm like, damn. Shit. So I walked back thinking the motherfucker was gone. I guess it didn't want me to follow it. So I'm like, okay. Then something touched me. I'm like, what the? Something touched me. I'm still trying to see, like, where is it at? Like, it vanished, so how is it still touching me or something? I don't know. It's creepy. So I'm like, okay. Well, at least I saw it and followed it for a little moment. Then it went to vanish. I'm like, oh, yeah. So I was like, go ahead and take your ass upstairs and get warm.
Aside from briefly touching him, there haven't been any violent attacks, scratches, or aggressive behavior. This led many to believe this could be a non-hostile or friendly spirit, possibly unaware of its surroundings or simply repeating a routine it once had in life. But it happened again. On another night shift, the guard spotted the same faint white figure again, only this time it came through the door. And as the figure moved closer, he described feeling a sudden cold breeze, even though the building's temperature hadn't changed. Have a look.
I saw that motherfucker again. Just look real close. Just look. It's coming from the door, from outside. See it? It's faint. It's real faint. I'm looking at it, I'm like, hold on, let me feel if it's real. It's cold too. When I put my hand up there by it, it's real cold. Then it went back there towards the door, all the way back there in the back. I'm like, whoa. I wanted to see it went close to me or some shit. I'm like, oh, so because ghosts do give out like a cold chill, like when you put, like, it's like a cold breeze there. I'm like, okay. Shit, I saw it came from outside too. I'm like, damn. And I wasn't even freaked out. I just wanted to see how it felt. I was like, that motherfucker cold in the mud. So I saw it. That shit is crazy, man. It's been a while since I've seen this, so like I said, it come every now and then, but you have to look real hard though, real hard to see it. It came from here and it went real slow. Just look real hard when you rewind the video.
In paranormal belief, sudden cold spots are often associated with spirits because it's said they draw energy from their surroundings to manifest or move. Many claim that when a temperature drops without explanation, it can signal a spirit passing through or attempting to interact. Despite multiple encounters, the figure has never spoken, it hasn't shown its face, and it hasn't revealed why it keeps appearing in the same workplace night after night. Until more updates are shared, this case remains unsolved. Now, this next video is about David, the man who bought a doll and almost immediately realized he'd made a serious mistake. At first, David believed the activity was tied directly to the doll, so he did what many advised. He locked it inside a cage and placed a Bible on top, hoping that would contain whatever presence was attached to it. But the activity in his house didn't stop. In fact, many viewers believe that while the doll may have acted as a trigger, whatever came with it may have already spread throughout the house long before it was locked away. One night, around 4 a.m., David woke up to get some work done, but as he finished and was about to head to bed, he began hearing something that immediately put him on edge. Listen closely.
Están escuchando, ¿no? Son pasos, esos son pasos. Y los estoy escuchando, ya van 2 veces que los escucho. Entonces la segunda vez dije, ok, termino de hacer la cama y empiezo a grabar. Ok, ya escucharon, ¿no? Bueno, Entonces, ¿por qué tengo la luz así? Porque me duermo con la luz de rojo y ya está. Y para los que digan, esas cruces que no sé qué, son adornos, nada más. Entonces, ya encendí la luz del celular, ¿ok? Porque ahorita todo está apagado. ¿Qué voy a hacer? Ahí se escucha. A ver.
It sounded unmistakably like footsteps, and David was completely alone. In the same video, David addresses something many commenters had been focusing on: the red lighting in his room and the crosses on the wall. He explains that the red light helps him sleep, and the crosses are simply decorative ornaments, not ritualistic, not symbolic. But viewers aren't convinced. Many argued that red lighting is often associated with heightened emotional states or altered perception, while others insisted that symbolic objects, even when decorative, can still act as spiritual triggers, especially in an already active environment. Trying to locate the source of the noise, David followed the sound, and it didn't surprise anyone when the footsteps led him straight to the room where the doll was locked. But what shocked viewers most wasn't the room. It was what appeared just before he reached it: a face, barely visible, peeking out from the darkness, watching him. That single moment escalated everything, because now there were 3 separate concerns: the doll locked in the cage, the red light, and the cross ornaments, and now a visible presence that wasn't hiding anymore. David shared that this wasn't the first time he heard footsteps. One night, while he was home alone, he heard footsteps so convincing that he genuinely believed someone had broken into his house. Have a look.
Se escuchó que alguien venía así, hacia mí. Y fue cuando cerré la puerta.
After that incident, viewers advised him to prepare for the next time it happened, specifically by using talcum powder, a method some believe can reveal unseen movement through footprints. So when it happened again, David knew exactly what to do. Watch this carefully.
Talco para pies. No me importa usarlo todo. Bueno, amigas, bueno, amigos, así quedó. Ya está. No fue mucho lo que quedaba. Ya se vació esto. Voy a dejarlo así, qué sé yo, toda la tarde y toda la noche de mañana, a ver qué pasa. Es decir, en 24 horas reviso. Ya está. Antes de voy a encender la luz de esto. Todo eso está el talco, ¿ok? Sí se ve bien creepy, ¿no? Ah, cosa curiosa. El rosario de la Biblia ya no... A ver, así. Ya no encuentro el rosario de la Biblia. Y si se dan cuenta, la muñeca se volvió a mover.
As he pours the powder, something else happens. A voice can be heard. And for those familiar with David's story, this voice is disturbingly familiar. From the very beginning, David has described hearing a voice that sounds distressed, sometimes crying, sometimes calling his name, sometimes sounding like it's asking for forgiveness, as if whatever is there isn't just present, but suffering. Then, David noticed something else. The doll had changed position inside the cage, and the rosary he'd placed on top of the Bible was gone. At this point, even viewers couldn't agree on what was truly responsible. Some still blame the doll, others insist the house itself may already be haunted. A few believe it's the environment, the lighting, the symbols, the attention, feeding whatever is there. And then there's the face, because once something is watching you, it's no longer contained. So what do you think is causing all of this? The doll, the red light, the crosses, or the house itself? You be the judge. In the following video, a woman shares footage after more than 2 weeks of unsettling experiences, incidents that have slowly pushed her toward one frightening conclusion, that something may have attached itself to her. Watch this carefully.
I'm recording this to see if I can catch it on camera this time, but I'm home alone for the night and I swear I've been hearing noises. Usually this happens, but this time it died. Please tell me that you can hear it.
To a lot of people, this might not be a classic attachment case. Attachments usually don't begin loudly, they start subtly. A constant feeling of being watched, sudden emotional shifts that don't feel like your own, exhaustion that doesn't improve with rest, recurring intrusive thoughts, vivid dreams involving the same presence, or a heavy sensation in the chest or shoulders, as if something is always nearby. So this might be something else, a mimic. Mimic cases often present differently. Instead of targeting emotions or energy first, mimics focus on imitation. They copy familiar voices, repeat phrases the person has heard before, and create situations designed to provoke a response. And that's where the most important rule comes in. The number one rule when dealing with a mimic is this: do not respond and do not acknowledge it in any way. No speaking back, no calling out, no asking questions, no reacting emotionally. Sometimes, while attachments tend to drain and linger quietly, mimics provoke, and once they're acknowledged, they rarely stop. Until more updates are shared, the situation remains deeply unsettling. Now, in this next video, a man is simply giving his friends and family a tour of his new apartment. Nothing unusual, just a quick walkthrough to show the space. But he captured something terrifying. Take a look. It wasn't until one of his friends decided to slow the video down and examine each room more carefully that something disturbing stood out. As he walks past one of the rooms, there appears to be a woman standing still, facing the window. She doesn't move and she didn't turn. The man insists he was completely alone while filming. No roommate, no visitor. Viewers quickly began analyzing the footage frame by frame. Some believe it could be a reflection or a trick of lighting, but others pointed out that the figure appears to have depth and form, standing in a spot where no mirror or reflective surface should be. The posture is also unsettlingly natural, like someone quietly observing the outside world. So, what do you do when your new apartment already has someone living rent-free in it? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. This next video was captured by Nate, a man whose dog has been trying to warn him that something isn't right inside the house. One night, while Nate was home alone watching TV, this happened. Watch closely.
So I'm here watching football, and this light keeps going on and off. I was just up there going to the bathroom. Like, I checked the bulb, and the switch is right there. It just started doing this.
If it's just the lights turning on and off, some might say he's overreacting. Electrical issues happen, but when you factor in everything else that's already happened in this house, the situation becomes much harder to dismiss. We've heard whispers underneath several of Nate's past videos, faint, low, and not coming from the TV. There's also the clip where a knife was thrown across the room, even though no one was standing near it. And then there's his dog, who refuses to go into certain corners of the house, freezing in place, growling, or leaving the room altogether. And when multiple signs start stacking up, sound, movement, objects being thrown, and an animal clearly reacting, it begins to feel like something is escalating. For now, Nate hasn't been able to explain what's going on inside his home. So until more answers or updates surface, this one remains completely unsolved. Now in this next clip, popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian returns to what many locals consider the most haunted house in Minnesota, the infamous Boyd House. The home belonged to the Ehart family, Fred and Minnie, and was originally built back in 1901. As Ian entered one of the rooms, something immediately caught his attention. A light suddenly turned on by itself. At that moment, Ian knew he needed answers. Was this Fred, Minnie, or something else entirely? So he began asking questions.
Minnie, was that you that I heard earlier? Making all those noises? Turning on that closet light? Was that you? I feel him moving again. Thank you. I think they uncrossed. I hope you don't mind me visiting. It is a lovely place. You know, I keep coming back for a reason, right? What the heck was that? That sounded like a female voice, almost. It was like really faint. Minnie, is that you? There it is again. Okay. That is really, really spooky sounding. It sounds like a woman, like humming. Like,
Was that Minnie, the former owner many believe still wanders the house, known for moving objects and interacting with the environment? Or has something else found its way into the Boyd house, drawn in by years of attention and investigations? The following video is about Nate, the same guy who's been dealing with some disturbing activity inside his home. At first, unexplainable things only happened at night. Whispers in the dark, objects moving on their own, his dog refusing to enter certain parts of the house, standing frozen and staring at empty corners like something was there. But then, it stopped being just a nighttime problem. Now the activity is happening in broad daylight, and the most consistent sign has been the footsteps. Watch.
Hey guys, Something was just walking down the stairs. I'm just sitting here having my coffee, watching the couple fights from last night that I missed. The dog is down here with me, of course. And I heard walking down the first set of stairs down to this landing. Nobody there. It sounded like it walked down this set to this landing, and then stopped at that landing. But when I looked up, of course there was nothing there. Please tell me you guys heard that. It sounded like running up the stairs, running down the stairs. I don't know what it was, but it was one of them. What do you want? Guys, I'm telling you, until you experience something for yourself, there's no way to put into words that feeling inside of you, in your gut, like in your deep in your gut.
If you listen closely, something chilling happens almost immediately. Right as the video starts, a faint voice can be heard saying, "Hey," and moments later, when Nate asks out loud, "What do you want?" a voice clearly responds with one word, "You." That alone was enough to shake viewers. But people also noticed something else. Nate's house is almost always dark in his videos. Lights off, rooms dim and heavy. Many believe what Nate is experiencing isn't a coincidence. There's a long-standing belief that darker, cluttered environments allow negative entities to grow more comfortable, more established. Also, Nate has started hearing fast, light movement, followed by children's laughter. One morning while getting dressed, he hears it again. Multiple footsteps running through the house like kids playing a game. He rushes downstairs to check, and this is what he captures.
And she's right there. What do you hear? What is it? Hey. Mama. Where is it? She's looking at that couch. Okay. Oh, I didn't hear anything. Oh, what the...
With everything that's already happened in this house, the whispers, the voices responding directly to him, objects being thrown, his dog's constant fear, many viewers are no longer buying the idea that this is a child spirit. Instead, the theory that keeps coming up is far more disturbing. That whatever is in Nate's house is mimicking a child, copying innocence, laughter, and playfulness. Not because it is one, but because it wants Nate to lower his guard. But what do you think? You might recognize this building from previous videos where Jay, a security guard, captured a strange white figure moving across the rug during one of his night shifts. At the time, many people brushed it off, saying it could have been a reflection, lighting issue, or even fatigue playing tricks on him. But this time, Jay isn't the one behind the camera. Watch.
Y'all, this Officer Hooks. Now, see, I'm not the only one. Watch. It still comes at night, though. Look to your right, on your right side. It started getting cold, too, he said. Watch.
freshen the shit up.
Yeah, nah. There you go. See it? And watch him. He got cold. It got cold. He was like, he saw that shit. He like, what the fuck? He stopped. He looked like, what the fuck? I told y'all I'm not tweaking. This shit is real, y'all.
Keep doing what I do.
The footage shows one of Jay's colleagues, someone who had no knowledge of Jay's earlier encounters when this happened. And yet, what he captured looks disturbingly similar to what Jay has been describing all along. According to Jay, this was the moment everything clicked for him. The guard in the video later explained that the moment he noticed the figure, the temperature around him dropped suddenly. The air felt heavy, cold, and unnatural, a detail that immediately stood out to viewers familiar with paranormal encounters. And just by watching his reaction, you can tell this wasn't staged. For Jay, this clip confirms something he's been trying to say from the beginning. Whatever is in that building isn't tied to just one person, it's tied to the place. And now that more than one guard has seen it, felt it, and reacted the same way, the chances of this being a coincidence are getting harder and harder to believe. Now in this next video, Jennifer, who owns a beautiful historic home dating all the way back to 1907, shares another unsettling video. After posting several clips showing unexplained sounds and movement throughout the home, viewers began asking the same question: where is the most active spot? So Jennifer decided to find out. She went up to the 3rd floor, into a room she believes is one of the most haunted areas in the house, and recorded this. Watch. In the footage, you can hear sounds like something's moving, faint whispering, and what many describe as distant 1920s style music playing in the background. What makes this even stranger is that this isn't the first time music has been heard in Jennifer's videos. In fact, she says it happens around the same time every day. Because of that, many viewers believe the house may be experiencing residual haunting, a replay of past moments like echoes trapped in time, with no awareness or intent behind them. But around the same time the following day, Jennifer captured something that made many people start doubting the residual explanation. Watch.
I'm in my room. I'm hearing stuff. Right there. As quickly as I can. I feel like I see a mist over there. What the heck was that? Oh my god. I heard footsteps behind me. Shit. Doesn't it look misty right there? Alright, I'm backing up out of here because I'm scared. Holy cow.
In paranormal cases, footsteps can mean very different things. In some situations, they're considered harmless, the sound of a spirit moving through a space it once lived in with no interest in the living. But in other cases, footsteps are believed to signal awareness, something reacting to a person's presence, following them, or closing distance. And when Jennifer turns toward the stairs, there's mist. Some believe mist is one of the earliest visible signs of a spirit manifesting, energy taking form. Others argue that spirits don't wander freely like this at all, demons do. But what do you think? Is this a harmless presence tied to the home's past? Or is this something that was never just residual to begin with? You decide. The following video was recorded inside Misty Huron's house early Wednesday morning. Have a look.
Do y'all see what I mean? I mean, literally, I try to be done. I don't talk about it. I don't do all the things. And it's 7 a.m. on a Wednesday. And my light is just having a freaking party on its own. Just trying to make breakfast, make lunches. Here's my switch and whatever, remote. And here we are. Happy Wednesday, y'all.
At first glance, it's easy to brush this off as an electrical issue, a faulty switch, unstable wiring, something mundane. But before jumping to that conclusion, you need to hear the rest of Misty's story. Misty and her family have shared multiple unsettling experiences from inside this house over time, and taken together, they paint a much darker picture. One incident happened while the family was away on vacation. A neighbor called to let them know that every time he drove past the house, he noticed the lights turning on and off by themselves, night after night, even though no one was home. On one of those days away, Misty asked one of her neighbors to unlock the house so the maid could come in before he left for work. He later confirmed that he unlocked the door, but just minutes later, the maid called Misty in a panic, saying the door was locked and she couldn't get inside. When Misty called the neighbor back to clarify, he insisted, again, that he had unlocked it. The family has also reported toys turning on and malfunctioning without explanation, and one room in particular has become infamous, a room where they repeatedly hear something laughing and things moving. So when you connect the lights, the locked doors, the malfunctioning toys, and the laughter, does it still seem like faulty wiring? I'll leave you to be the judge on this one. This next video is about a man named Josh, whose home security camera has been capturing shadowy figures hiding and peeking, unexplained footsteps, persistent knocking, strange noises, and even orbs. One evening, as Josh walked past his bedroom, he suddenly heard laughter coming from inside the room, but when he opened the door, the room was completely silent. No movement, no one there. Instead of brushing it off, Josh decided to check the rest of the house with his phone camera. Watch.
Okay. Hearing laughter or something coming from my room. Of course it stops as soon as I close it here.
Laughter without a source, followed by object manipulation, is rarely considered harmless in the paranormal community. Viewers were quick to point out that whatever is inside Josh's house seems to be escalating, going from observing to making noise to physically moving objects. And that shift is what convinced many that this isn't just a playful or curious presence, it's something trying to be noticed. Until Josh shares more updates, one thing is clear. This situation is no longer easy to explain, and it remains a mystery. Now, in this next clip, popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his investigation inside the infamous Boyd house. This time, he makes his way into what many consider the most dreaded room in the entire home, the so-called little boy's room. And it's not feared simply because it once belonged to a boy. It's feared because of the painting. During Ian's previous visits, this room has been the site of some of his creepiest encounters, and no one has ever been able to explain what's attached to that painting. What makes it even more unsettling is this. The moment the painting was brought into the room, the power completely stopped working. Every attempt to fix the electricity failed, and to this day, that room has never had power restored. Have a look.
There it is. They say not to stare at it too long, so I'm limiting my eyesight with that thing. Oh, thank you. If there's anyone in this room, whether you're attached to this painting or simply one of the resident spirits, I invite you to come forward. Speaking of another creepy picture, there's one right there. That baby is watching me. Some people say that you're a strong entity. Well, I kind of have doubts, to be honest. You seem pretty quiet in here. Hopefully I don't eat my words. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but there is literally no power in this room.
The room feels still, almost too still, but Ian waits, listening, watching, trying to provoke a response. As time passes, he starts to wonder if maybe this time, nothing is going to happen. Then, this happens.
Sometimes that happens, you know. The brain does crazy things, especially when you're alone in the dark. It can really mess with you. What the? Oh my god, what the hell was that? Dude, something just dragged on the floor. Okay. It is safe to say I'm ready to get the hell out of here. Let's go towards it. Let's go towards it. I came from somewhere back here. What the heck? Something like dragged. I don't even know. What in the world was that? Oh, jeez. I'm running into stuff. Was it the painting? The painting hasn't moved.
Viewers were quick to point out that this wasn't a random noise. Something was definitely trying to announce its presence. And considering the long-standing connection between this room, the unexplained power loss, and the painting itself, many believe whatever is tied to that artwork may still be active, and very aware of Ian being there. Until more is uncovered about the painting and what's attached to it, this mystery inside the Boyd house remains unsolved. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following video was captured by a man inside his own home, but to understand why this moment matters, you need the backstory. At his workplace, he began noticing strange things happening around him. Objects would shift slightly when no one was near them. He'd hear unexplained noises he couldn't trace to any machine or coworker, and at times he swore he heard familiar voices calling out, voices belonging to people who weren't even there. At first, he tried to ignore it, but then it escalated. He started feeling something brush past him, then push him. Sometimes he'd hear the sound of footsteps running behind him, even when the space was completely empty. Coworkers suggested stress, imagination, and many who believed him warned he was paying too much attention. But when experiences start turning physical, is it so easy to stay calm or dismiss it? After a few months, the activity followed him home. Watch closely.
I'm trying to lay down, and these damn lights won't stop going on and off. And I'm the only one here currently. And all my damn cabinets are open. And my remote for the lights are over there. And they just won't turn off. They just won't turn off. Yo, what the f is that?
What makes this unsettling is the pattern. Many believe when unexplained activity moves from a workplace into a personal space, it suggests attachment rather than coincidence. Some argue this is how negative entities operate, slowly escalating, testing boundaries, feeding on fear and attention. Others believe it could be a human spirit, one that's not necessarily malicious but enjoys provoking reactions, pushing limits just to see how far it can go. If it's something darker, the goal may be harm, but if it's something human, it may simply be to disturb and intimidate. So what do you think? In this next video, a guy who's normally focused on gaming and making music finds himself dealing with something far more disturbing. For weeks, he's had the constant feeling that something is in his bathroom, not just a sense of unease, but the unmistakable feeling of being watched. What makes it harder to dismiss is his cat's behavior. The cat refuses to enter the bathroom, often freezing in place and staring into it for long stretches of time as if tracking something the camera can't immediately see. Animals reacting this way is often what pushes people to start taking things seriously. One night, after feeling that same presence again, he decided to leave his camera running. Have a look.
Oh my god, bro. I just seen the craziest shit. Look, over there. Over there, I just seen the craziest shit. Look! Oh my god. What was that? Oh my god, what is that? I'm like shaking right now. What is that? Look it. Watch, it's gonna do it again. It's gonna do it again. Look at that! Nah, bro.
At first glance, some people are quick to say it's staged. Maybe a friend hiding, maybe a prank. But if that were the case, the cat should remain calm, and this wasn't a one-time incident. According to him, this figure has shown up repeatedly over the past 2 weeks, always briefly, never fully revealing itself, and always in the same area. That kind of consistency is what makes this harder to brush off. So the question is this the start of something he needs to take seriously before it escalates? Or do you still think it's all carefully planned? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Now, if you've been following this channel for a while, then you'll definitely recognize this house. The 263-year-old colonial home, known for its creepy attic and disturbing doll collections, is a place many viewers have gone as far as calling one of the scariest houses in America, and it's not hard to see why. Over the years, the owners have documented a long list of unexplained activity, apparitions moving through rooms, heavy footsteps when no one else is inside, disembodied voices that seem to come from nowhere, and even their cat reacting in ways that suggest it's watching something invisible move through the house. This time, she decided to go back into the attic. The same attic with the door marked by deep claw scratches, marks that have never been properly explained. Have a look.
Definitely a little late with doing this because I don't want to upset the girls, but it is time to take off their little Santa hats and store them away for the year. I'm very, very sorry. And somehow the door is still open and I need to grab the gift and the tree. Chain check. I feel bad. Maybe I'll put like some Valentine's decor or something up in here. And I'm actually going to put the chain over here just for ha-has to mix it up a little bit. We all heard and saw that, correct? Oh my god, I feel like I gotta get out of here. Alrighty.
That sound was unmistakable. It wasn't settling wood or a random creak. It was the sound of a door moving. With the long and troubled history of this house, moments like this have sadly become almost normal. Some paranormal researchers believe that in homes this old, spirits don't always stay confined to one space. Some are thought to roam freely from room to room, while others attach themselves permanently to specific areas, like the attic. And according to her, every time she goes up there, she's overwhelmed by the same feeling, the sensation that someone is standing directly behind her. But the attic isn't the only place where strange things happen. Have a look at this.
I just had one of my little manifestations come true, and I just realized it right now, and I wanted to share that with you guys. I'm not going to share what it is because it's kind of personal and a little specific, but you guys know that I'm obsessed with all things manifestation, all things journaling. If you're not journaling already, you need to be journaling as if you are already your future self. I wanted to show you guys my new journal. I always have a few going on, but do you like it? Wonder what that could mean. Stay tuned.
While she's calmly talking about journaling, something she uses to ground herself, the candle above her begins to swing on its own. What makes this moment especially unsettling is that this isn't new. It's happened multiple times before, and she's almost grown used to it. But here's the part she can't explain. It's always the same candle, no drafts, no open windows, and none of the other candles in the room ever move when this one does. Whatever the explanation may be, the activity in this house hasn't slowed down. If anything, it feels more consistent, more aware, and until something changes, this colonial home continues to live up to its reputation as one of America's most haunted houses. Now, in this next video, a man was in the middle of remodeling a house that dates all the way back to the early 1900s. The kind of place where every wall, every staircase, and every hidden corner has seen generations come and go. While working inside the house alone, he experienced something that still has people arguing about what really happened. Watch this.
The heck is that? Hello? Who is it?
At first, many viewers assumed the simplest explanation, that the phone had been dropped and the man himself was the one spinning it. But that theory quickly falls apart when you listen closely. You can clearly hear him coming down the stairs, breathing heavily, moments after the phone begins to move. There's no way he could have been in two places at once, which raises the question, if it wasn't him, then what was touching the phone? Homes this old often come with long, complicated histories. Over the years, they've been places of celebration, loss, illness, and sometimes tragedy. Some believe renovations can disturb whatever energy has settled into a house over decades, almost like waking something that's been dormant. But until more updates are shared, and until the history of that home is fully uncovered, this chilling moment remains a mystery. In the following video, a guy starts noticing that his camera is picking up things he never sees with his own eyes. And what makes this especially interesting is that he considers himself a skeptic. He's gone back through the footage multiple times, trying to debunk it, looking for reflections, camera glitches, or anything that could explain what's happening. Have a look. He was fully awake when this was recorded, and at no point did he notice the light flashing on the picture frame. Yet on camera, it's clearly visible. According to him, nothing in the room changed while this was happening. There was no shift in airflow, no movement, no electronics nearby that could reflect or trigger it. From a paranormal perspective, some believe unexplained light anomalies like this could be manifestations of energy, brief visual disturbances that cameras can capture more easily than the human eye. Of course, skeptics argue it could be something far simpler, a dying battery, an unnoticed reflection, or a camera artifact. So is there something in his room that simply needs its battery changed? Or could this be something paranormal? You decide. In this next clip, a group of paranormal investigators enter an abandoned house, a place that's been left untouched for years. But almost immediately after stepping inside, things start to feel off. Doors start closing on their own, not slowly, not from a draft, but with enough force to make them stop and look at each other. At first, they try to rationalize it. Old houses shift and pressure changes, but that explanation falls apart when they notice something far more unsettling. Watch this. Some believe whatever's inside was warning them that they had stepped into its territory, making its presence known in the only way it could. Others think the activity was meant to lure them deeper inside, drawing them closer for reasons unknown. Whether it was a warning or an invitation, one thing is clear. Until more updates from this investigation are shared, whatever was in that house and why it revealed itself remains completely unsolved. Now in this next clip, popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his solo investigation at the infamous Squirrel Cage Jail, officially known as the Pottawatomie County Jail in Iowa. Built in the late 1800s, this place has a long history of overcrowding, isolation, and suffering. But one of the most disturbing sections of the jail isn't where hardened criminals were kept. It's the juvenile detention area. This is where children were once held. And over the years, countless visitors and investigators have claimed that the spirits of those children never left. Ian enters this section with one clear mission: to confirm whether those rumors hold any truth. Watch closely.
There's little children still hanging around here. Could you move one of the toys in one of these cells? Maybe if I sit down, I'll be less intimidating. You don't have to be afraid. I just like to make friends with you, and I just want to let you know that you're not in trouble anymore. You can go if you want. You're not in trouble. I thought I heard a little voice over here. Hello? Who's in here? Thought I heard somebody. Oh my god. Those mannequins keep scaring me. Well, seems pretty quiet in here. I thought I heard for sure. It sounded like a voice, like a little child in here. I'm gonna have to enhance it and see if a voice recorder picked up on it.
Some believe spirits of children are more likely to linger, especially in places where fear and isolation were constant. So was it a residual echo from the past, or was it something far darker using a childlike voice to draw attention? Whatever it was, Ian didn't provoke it. It came to him. And in a place like the Squirrel Cage Jail, that's usually not a good sign. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following clip was recorded by Kyle, and if you've been following this channel for a while, then you already know he's no stranger to strange activity. Over the past few years, Kyle has dealt with more than his fair share of unexplained moments inside his home. But this year started off unusually quiet. Well, that didn't last. It began with the sound of children giggling, first in the attic, then the basement. Now, whatever is in the house seems to have moved again, this time to the utility room in his garage. Kyle says he's been hearing loud bangs, noticing lights flickering, and every time the noise suddenly stops, he feels compelled to check it out. And this is what he keeps finding. Watch.
What the hell? Oh shit. It's a... That was up there. So was this. What the fuck? I mean, there's no animal in here. I'm scared out of my mind. I was in the kitchen. I just started hearing the craziest commotion out here in the garage, and this is the result. There's no raccoon in here or anything. I mean, there's nothing that could have done this.
Whenever Kyle opens the door, the room is in complete disarray. Items scattered, things knocked over, yet there's no one there. At first, Kyle wondered if it could be an animal, but that theory quickly falls apart. What kind of animal could create that level of mess, reach those heights, and still leave no signs behind? And animals don't usually cause electrical interference, so why was the light flickering? Until Kyle shares more updates about what's happening in his home, and whether the activity spreads even further, this situation remains completely unsolved. This next video is about a woman named Jennifer, who owns a beautiful historic home dating all the way back to 1907, filled with antique pieces that go as far back as 1903. At first glance, the house looks warm, elegant, and full of character, but not long after moving in, Jennifer began experiencing things she couldn't explain, things that slowly became impossible to ignore. She started hearing footsteps when no one else was around, faint whispering, objects shifting on their own, and shadows moving just outside her field of vision. What makes this even more unsettling is what Jennifer later discovered. After speaking with a local historian, she learned that when the house was built, there were no nearby hospitals, and it's believed that at least 4 people died inside the home. Deaths that likely occurred under stressful, emotional circumstances, the kind many believe can leave a lasting imprint on a place. And based on Jennifer's previous clips, a lot of viewers already suspected the house itself was the source. One evening, just as Jennifer was about to sit down for dinner, when she suddenly started hearing strange noises coming from inside the house. Watch.
I'm hearing a few things. It's like 4:45, so I'm just gonna listen and see if I can catch anything. Okay, I thought I just heard music. to go up on this landing and see if I can hear it better. Okay, well, listen up here. I seriously feel like I'm hearing people like have a conversation. No one's here but me. Oh my gosh. I'm hearing movement down there. And then I heard something up here. Do you hear that? It sounds like music. Well, it's the usual dinner time activity. I'm gonna play it back and see if I caught anything.
What makes this clip so disturbing is how much people claim they heard. Some say there's soft humming, others hear a loud knock, while many insist they can clearly make out a man's voice saying, "I'm fine." A few even believe they hear faint music, and the most chilling part, none of these sounds appear to have a clear source. After watching the clip, people couldn't agree on one explanation, only that something about it doesn't feel right. What did you hear? And do you think this house is holding on to the past, or something inside it becoming aware of the people living there now? The following video was captured by a man who has repeatedly mentioned that it's not his house that's haunted, and honestly, you can't blame anyone for thinking otherwise. He shared disturbing experiences for months, waking up in the middle of the night feeling like something is choking him, pressing down on his neck. His cameras have recorded violent growling voices, sudden aggressive slams, and sounds that feel angry rather than curious. To anyone watching, it all screams one thing: a haunted house. But then something happened that changed everything. Hoping to get some peace, he decided to take a short vacation and sleep at a hotel, completely away from his home. Before going to bed that night, he set up his camera, just in case, and something did happen. Watch. The curtains moving weren't the most unsettling part of the footage. If you look closely, you'll notice a dark shadow moving across the room, pacing back and forth. Seeing this made him believe he wasn't dealing with a simple haunting anymore, but an attachment. And given how violent and aggressive the activity has been, many believe it could be something far darker. Some even suggest a demonic presence, especially considering the physical attacks and the way it appears during his most vulnerable moments, when he's asleep. So is this proof that something has attached itself to him, or is there another explanation people are overlooking? You decide. In this next video, a man had been home alone for about 4 hours when he suddenly heard a voice calling out to him. A voice that sounded exactly like his mother's. The problem? His mom wasn't home, so who was talking? Watch closely. Whatever was outside wasn't just calling randomly, it was trying to get him to respond, or worse, open the door. But instead of answering, he knew what to do and stayed completely silent. When it comes to encounters like this, knowing what not to do is everything. People familiar with mimics say they often start by using a trusted voice, a parent, a partner, someone you'd never ignore. And if that doesn't work, they switch tactics. In this case, the voice suddenly changed, morphing into something far more distorted and terrifying. The calm voice is the bait. The aggressive tone comes when it realizes fear is the only tool left. The goal is to provoke a reaction, any reaction, because once you respond, some believe you've given it exactly what it wants. That's why the #1 rule with suspected mimics is this: do not answer, do not open doors, do not engage, no asking questions or trying to confirm who it is. Silence is protection. If you've ever had an experience with something calling your name when no one was there, now's the time to share. Now, in this next video, a guy named Nate has been dealing with increasingly disturbing activity inside his home. At first, it only happened at night. Objects flying across his kitchen, including a knife, something repeatedly peeking from his basement, and his dog refusing to go anywhere near certain parts of the house. But now, it's no longer confined to the dark. Watch closely.
I keep hearing walking going on in the dining room. Sound like at one point it was going up the stairs, then to the kitchen or the basement, but there's literally no. Holy Jesus. Did you see it? Where'd it go? Where is it? Keep hearing these steps. All right, that one just jumped up. That one just jumped up.
In paranormal cases, unexplained footsteps are often believed to be a sign of manifestation. Combined with the earlier knife incident, the persistent peeking, and his dog's refusal to enter certain areas, many viewers believe the activity is escalating rather than fading. So until more updates are shared, Nate's situation remains deeply unsettling and completely unsolved. The following video was recorded by a woman who says she had been seeing a shadowy figure moving through her house all morning. At first, she ignored it, watching it pass from room to room, never fully revealing itself. But after hours of this, curiosity got the better of her. She decided to follow it. Watch what happened next.
What is doing that? Yeah, are you playing music for me? Are you gonna do it again? Yeah, thank you. I love your music. You can keep playing. You gonna do some more? The funny thing is, I have been seeing your shadow walking around all day, and now you want to play music? Can you do one more tune? Goodbye. Thank you.
What disturbed people the most wasn't the sound, it was her reaction. That level of comfort made many viewers uneasy. Some speculate the figure she followed was trying to lead her somewhere. Others believe the spirit used the keyboard, a child's toy, to communicate in the safest way it could. And a more troubling theory suggests something else entirely, that whatever is in the house no longer needs to, but I'll leave you to be the judge of this one. In this next video, a group of men decided to explore what they believed was just another abandoned house. For the first few minutes, everything seemed ordinary. Crumbling walls, broken furniture, fragments of a life that had clearly been left behind years ago. But that illusion didn't last long. Watch closely.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Allah, la ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minaz zalimin, la ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minaz zalimin.
The moment this happened, they started praying. Across many cultures and belief systems, prayer is believed to act as a form of spiritual protection, not because it removes danger instantly, but because it creates a barrier. A way of grounding oneself, calling for protection, and rejecting whatever presence may be trying to intimidate or attach itself, especially in situations where the intention of the entity is unknown. Now, to the part many people forget, abandoned places aren't always empty. Some are simply forgotten, others are believed to be cursed, or worse, occupied by something that never left. Now, in this next clip, popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his investigation inside the infamous Boyd house. This time, his focus shifts to something even more unsettling, the possibility that the spirits of Fred and Minnie's children may still be present. Earlier in the investigation, Ian captured what sounded like a child's voice, and now he wants answers. Watch closely.
Are you hiding? You don't have to be afraid. I bet I can find you. You playing hide and seek? Show me your hiding spot. Show me where you are. Whoa, whoa. Dude. I think I just caught something. Over there. Behind the camera. Let me take another one. Oh my gosh, dude, and it's gone. Dude, something just appeared right over here. Hello? That was weird. Yeah, and it's completely gone. I'm not catching anything else. Oh, dude, that was so cool. It looked like a type of small mist figure by the window, and it was short like a little kid.
Near the window, a small mist-like figure begins to form. It's low to the ground, much shorter than an adult, almost child-sized, and at first it looks like nothing more than a faint cloud. But when the footage is examined more closely, something disturbing starts to appear. You can make out what looks like two eyes, a nose, and a mouth forming within the mist. Ian decides to try again, repositioning himself and raising the camera, hoping to see if the figure will reappear, but something else happens. Watch.
It's okay. I think I found your hiding spot. You're hiding behind my tripod. Could you appear like that again? I'm gonna take another one. Dude, they were literally standing, like right here. Right in this area. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Okay. Oh my god, dude. That scared me. There was a loud thumping sound. Okay. I hear you. It's draining my camera too. I literally just put a new battery in. Look at that. It's already draining. Battery. That definitely makes a lot of sense.
Many investigators believe that spirits, especially residual or intelligent ones, draw energy from electronic devices in order to manifest. Cameras die, batteries drop without warning, and equipment shuts down at the worst possible moment. Whether what Ian captured was one of the Boyd children, or something else entirely trying to present itself as one, remains unclear. But that house is anything but empty. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following clip is about a family we've talked about on this channel before, and if you remember their story, then you already know things got pretty unsettling the first time around. Here's a quick rundown. It all began on random nights when their daughter would suddenly wake up crying, and while they were trying to calm her down, they'd hear someone knocking on their front door. It went on for several nights until the father finally decided to check. And the moment he opened that door, there was a figure standing right outside. After that encounter, the knocking stopped, but the house wasn't the same. Strange movements, electronics acting up, little things happening that didn't feel like coincidences. They prayed, they waited, and after a few months, the house finally settled. No knocking, no shadows, no disturbances. For a while, it seemed like whatever had shown up that night had moved on. But now, months later, the pattern seems to be starting all over again. Watch this.
Vente. Me están tocando.
Sí. La niña empezó a llorar.
Ya no haga mucho ruido para ver quién es. No prendas. ¿Cómo rápido? Está bien inquieta, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Ya son casi las 3 de la mañana. ¿Dónde están las llaves? Hoy. No se ve. Voy a abrirlo. Ahí quédate, espérame. No hay nadie. No hay nadie. No, uy, otra vez. Así menos. ¿Quién será? No es nadie, Ceci. Yo creo que ya nos subimos a dormir. Ya. Vámonos. Vámonos porque igual le voy a enseñar la hora. Siempre pasa lo mismo. Miren. Son casi las 3 de la mañana. 25. Siempre hace lo mismo, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Ya vamos a... Voy a cerrar otra vez.
This time, they knew better than to open the door. They didn't want to repeat the same mistake, but one night, while his wife was trying to put their baby girl to sleep, the house security camera picked up something they never expected to see. Watch this.
Sí, mira, quiero que observes bien este video y me digas qué te parece. Puede ser cualquier cosa, pudo ser una persona, pero realmente con seguridad no te sé qué decir. Observa los movimientos de mi hija de 4 meses, cómo ya está casi dormida y ahorita en un ratito como que se altera. El video no tiene audio, así que por eso se lo estoy relatando. Vean ahí cómo se alteró mi hija y ve directamente hacia el portón. Miren, ahí está observando, ahí se asomó algo. Vean eso. Vean lo extraño que el color de piel que tiene eso, vean. Y mi hija ahí está alterada y si se dan cuenta, no deja de mirar hacia el portón. Vean, mi hija está mirándolo. Ahí se volteó y eso se desvaneció. Bastante extraño.
If you take a good look at the footage, the little girl is completely calm at first, just resting, until something shifts. Out of nowhere, she gets upset and she starts crying, like she's reacting to something we can't see. And if you look at the door, a faint figure seems to be peeking inside. The father said he couldn't place the shape at all, and what made it worse is that he never saw anything walk away. 1 second the figure was there, and the next, it wasn't. No footsteps, no movement, no shadows trailing off. Just there, then gone. And with everything they've experienced before, people began to wonder if this was the same presence that stood outside their door months ago, or if something completely new had entered the picture. Then, around 2 a.m., their daughter started crying again. But this time, it wasn't the knocking, it was something far worse. Proof that whatever they'd been dealing with wasn't outside anymore. It was inside the house. Have a look.
No digas mamadas. No. ¿Qué dijo? ¿Eh? ¿Qué dijo? No mames, güey. Se me va a apagar. Está hablando. No, güey, no, la verga. No mames, no chingues. Se puso feo. Raza. Se puso feo, les dije. No mames, güey.
It didn't take long before the knocking returned too, and when it came back, it wasn't random or occasional anymore. It happened every single night, like something determined, something trying to wear them down. Imagine living with that, knowing it's coming, knowing you can't stop it, and counting down the seconds until it starts again. Eventually, even though he knew exactly what happened the last time, he started opening doors, but only the doors inside. And what happened next felt like going from bad to something much worse, almost like stepping out of the frying pan and straight into the fire. Watch.
No sé si se escuche. Oigan, como si estuvieran en la parte de enfrente. No mames. Son las 2 de la mañana. Uy, cabrón. Voy a buscar las llaves. No mames, está acá enfrente, ¿eh? Uy, uy. Okay, como... No mames.
The activities in the house escalated after that night, but this time the knocking didn't stop. And you know what they say. When the knocking refuses to end, it usually means whatever is outside isn't trying to leave. It's trying to come in. And in situations like this, people believe persistent knocking is a sign that the presence has grown stronger, more intentional, almost desperate for access. It got so bad that it began waking the entire family every single night. At this point, they started to believe that not opening the main door wasn't protecting them from anything, because strange things were still happening inside the house even on nights they kept the door shut. But at least if they open it, the knocking would stop for a few hours, just enough peace to reach the morning. So reluctantly, they fell into a routine. Every time the knocking returned, the father would open the door just to make it stop, until one night he walked toward the entrance expecting the same pattern, but instead saw something deeply unsettling. Watch this.
Johnny, están tocando.
¿Ah?
Están tocando.
¿Quién es?
Nadie,
¿Están tocando?
Sí.
Ah, sí, no manches.
Escucha.
Otra vez, güey, a ver. Dame, a ver, aguanta. Espérame aquí, aguántame.
Sí.
Otra vez. Son las 3 de la mañana, gente. Son casi las 3 de la mañana. ¿Qué quieres? ¿Qué es lo que quieres? Deja de molestar. Quiero que te largues. ¿Qué es eso? Oh, no manches. Oh, no manches. Ceci.
This wasn't a neighbor, this wasn't a prank. What he saw looked dark and full of intent, the kind of thing that doesn't accidentally show up at your door. And when you connect this moment to everything else, the figure peeking inside the house, the child crying at unseen things, the sudden electronic malfunctions, the rocking chair moving on its own, the doll moving, it all begins to feel like one presence that finally revealed its true form. Now the family is actively seeking help from anyone who can make sense of all this. But while they search for answers, the knocking hasn't stopped. They still open the door sometimes, but now with extreme caution, because they never know what might be standing there.
Mira. Y el chiquito no.
Mira, no mames.
¡Vámonos de esa casa!
Ya, yo voy grabando.
Tranquila. ¿Quién anda ahí?
To make matters worse, the electricity in the house hasn't been the same since the night they saw that strange figure. Lights flicker, appliances glitch, and even their older kid is getting tired of living in a place that feels more haunted with every passing night. In the next clip they posted, things took a turn none of them were prepared for. What used to happen strictly at night, the knocking, the footsteps, the strange movements, suddenly began happening in broad daylight. Objects would shift from one spot to another, heavy thudding footsteps, as if someone unseen was walking up the stairs, and random items in the house kept going missing only to reappear in odd places. Then one afternoon, the father captured something on camera that left both viewers and investigators genuinely alarmed. Watch this.
¿Estás escuchando?
Sí.
Vente. Son las 2 de la tarde, se está manifestando algo. Tengo que decir que no hay nadie. Estoy completamente solo. No manches. Se acaba de abrir la puerta del cuarto. Este cuarto, pues nadie lo habita. Estoy solamente con mi hijo de 8 años. Vente, Neto, no te quedes. Se vio claramente cómo se abrió la puerta sola y no hay ni viento. De hecho, está cerrada la ventana, todo está cerrado. Vámonos.
Even with every window shut and all doors locked, one door slowly opened on its own, like someone on the inside had gently pushed it. Many believe this was a sign the presence inside the home has grown comfortable, too comfortable, almost as if it no longer cares to hide its movements. Others think letting it in that very first night might have given it access it never should have had, and now it's roaming the entire house freely, crossing boundaries it once respected. And things have only gotten worse night after night. The family is so desperate that viewers have sent their clips to paranormal experts, hoping someone can offer answers or at least a solution to stop the constant fear they're living in. But while they wait for help, every day and every night brings a new disturbance. One night, it sounded like someone was in the kitchen, loud enough that the husband thought an intruder might have broken in. But when he went to check, this is what he found.
Oye, voy a ir a bajar,
Sí, a ver, ve a checar qué es.
Voy a ver, ahí quédate con la niña.
Sí.
Hasta se despertó, ¿va?
Sí.
No hay nadie. Por lo regular siempre se escucha como si hubiera alguien ahí en la cocina. Se escuchaba que estaban jugando con los trastes, como si estuvieran botando cosas, así bastante fuerte. Lo primero que pensé es que se habían metido a la casa. Mierda. ¿Qué hacen esos sartenes botados? Mira. Empieza a sentir un escalofrío en esta parte bastante fuerte. Voy a levantar esto. cómo estaba colgado esto. ¿Qué es lo que quieres? Lárgate de aquí. ¿Por qué nos molestas? Oh, madre de Dios. ¿Qué es eso que se escucha? Lárgate de aquí. No mames. Hey, la sangre de Cristo tiene poder. Sea lo que sea, no perteneces aquí. Lárgate. Necesitamos ayuda, por favor. Esto se está saliendo de control, amigos. ¿Qué es eso?
Pans scattered all across the floor, and before he could even finish placing them back, something else happened. Sudden, sharp, and terrifying. Almost like the presence wanted to make sure he knew he wasn't alone in that kitchen. At this point, whatever is haunting this home is no longer subtle, no longer shy, no longer hiding in the shadows. It's active, bold, and possibly growing stronger. And before this turns into something violent, the family is pleading for help, hoping someone can intervene before things get even worse.